Hi, I've just been to Costco and I thought I would take you on a little tour of our freezer that's in our garage before I fill it up with what I've got from Costco. And then I'll show you what we got at Costco. Our family. So yeah, here it is. So I have it's an upright freezer in our garage. So I'm in the garage. So at the moment it's not extremely well organised. We've got some party food that's left over from my son's party and we're going to have another party soon, so we'll continue using that. These are the gluten-free pizzas that my daughter likes. So there's 5 left there. This little box has some little cinnamon scrolls that come from Costco and also a slice that I made up. My husband just takes one of these packets to work each day, so it's a little sweet something for him to take to work. The next one has a broken thing. These are the cocktail frankfurts. Some little minces and some big minces, and just this is like raw meat, this little section here. There's a piece of steak, some chicken in there and some chops. And then in the back there is the fish and a packet of Zipper Dippers. I try to keep like stuff together, but it doesn't always work out, just depending on what we have in the freezer. So in this one we've got some nuggets. These ones are the gluten-free nuggets, so we get 2 bags at a time from a local fish and chip shop. He orders them in for us. So it's heaps cheaper than buying them from the supermarket. We have some duck fat potatoes. I got them at Christmas time. More chicken nuggets for the little kids and chicken tenders for the little kids. This is just a half a bag of nuggets. These are the gluten-free ones. The next drawer we have just chips, oven chips, some sausage rolls, these potato and cheese. Yeah, I don't like them. I don't know why I put them. Anyway, and some just half boxes of arancini. And then I've got this caramel slice that I made up that I haven't eaten. Another box of it. Just keep it in the freezer so it lasts longer. This is the bread drawer. I've got 2 loaves of normal bread, some gluten-free rolls, and 1 loaf of gluten-free bread. I freeze all of our bread and just take it out in the morning or whenever I need to replace it. I did some school baking. These are cinnamon bites, so they're little tiny muffins. Kids don't like them, but I will eat them. And then some chocolate chip cookies as well. Now my face is beeping at me because it's been open for too long. So let's just close it. This is my dryer. And open the freezer again. There's just 2 drawers left. So down here, these are all the muffins that we chop in half and keep. Some steamed fresh veggies. And a little ice cream that I got at Christmas time. And I haven't really felt like ice cream, so I haven't eaten it yet. And then in the bottom drawer, I've just got some ready meals. So some lasagnas. I really enjoy lasagna. Beef, pappardelle and cottage pie. And then there's a pesto pasta that I made myself with the tom yum soup. So everything that I got at Costco I will organise and then come back out here and put it away. Also out here we've got a pantry. And this isn't extremely well organised, but it's okay. This is like our overflow stuff. So we've got passata, which I bought more of, some gluten-free Vegemite, ketchup, pasta sauce, pizza sauce, taco seasoning. These are some breadcrumbs that are gluten-free. We haven't used them yet. I've got a little packet of M&Ms, a box of M&Ms, and a massive gluten Vegemite with popcorn. I've got some cordial. These are just cake mixes. There's a few. And then flour, brown sugar, sunflower seeds. I bought all this stuff for like school baking. Coconut, the muffin mix, icing sugar, that grated powder cheese and some pasta. Then we've got the chocolate melts. That's all the baking. Then we've got just some like lollies that the kids have. They're individual packets, so they're good for lunch boxes. Odie slices, K-Times, Savoys. This is the butter chicken sauce that we love. Another like lot of lollies and saladas. Then we've got heaps of wraps at the moment. I have overbought them, so thankfully they last for ages, so it's fine. Gravy. This one's gluten-free, so we have a massive, I think it's about half empty. These are the individual packs of lollies as well that we got from Costco, and then I've got some sandwich bags and snack size and big ones. This is our last roll of paper towel, but we don't use too much of it. Cocoa Pops, box of Jumpies, massive bag of rice, and some garbage bags. So I will add the rest of the stuff that I've bought into this, whatever doesn't fit in the normal pantry. We've got one more freezer, which is our little in our fridge freezer. So at the moment in here is some gluten-free brownie that I just make and keep for the kids. There's some more pesto and stew. They're all like in individual sizes, so my husband will take them to work or I will have them for lunch. We've got fries that we keep up here. Gluten-free burger buns, we use them for burger night for sure, with some just frozen mixed veggies, and the pizza cheese. We currently have one in the freezer up here, and then down in the garage we keep the rest. Ice cream, and then down here we just got literally a cup of ice. And then my husband has caramel slice as well, and then some icicles. Cyclones he's currently on, and that's a bit more of his caramel slice. So yeah, we just keep stuff we use often up here, and then the other stuff goes in the other freezer. I also, while we're here, might as well show you this pantry. So it has all of our it's my Reese's snacks that I don't usually eat very much. A couple of little alcohol shots. Ferrero Rochers, our son loves those. He doesn't eat them all the time though, that's why they're up there. Cake decorating box. Our potatoes stay up here just because it's cool and dry. Then we've got our like plates and stuff. And then wraps go in this container, and the gluten-free ones are underneath. And then here we've got the bread. So gluten-free bread, normal bread, and all our spreads go back here. We keep our butter in the pantry. It doesn't get super hot in here. Back there is Nutella, jam, gluten-free Vegemite, regular Vegemite, maple syrup, and the butters. And then down the bottom is our KitchenAid and all of our silicone baker and stuff. Then the state of our fridge is currently not too bad actually. Probably needs a wipe down. But the butter, so the new butter that I've got, I'll just put behind that. I've got a cheese block which I need to cut up for school lunches. This is the Aldi cheese, which we keep in here. There's probably enough room there to put the rest of it in there, so I'll do that. Whatever ham is currently open. I bought a big lot of the American cheese slices, and that keeps really well in these containers. So I'll be making the toasties with that, and I'll use whatever. I've got some strawberries. Our egg containers. So at the moment we've got 2 on the go. These are the oldest ones, and then I bought new ones. And then we've got the Costco ones, so they'll currently go. I'll just put the box in here, and once these are all gone, then we'll start using the box. This is what the butter sometimes comes in, the little packets. Out there. I've got some Parmesan cheese, some mozzarella cheese, big cheese family, the kids yogurt, and this little drawer here, it's for a pizza box. Ham, so currently we've opened 1 and it goes in this little container, and then we just open them one at a time because they keep better. This is cordial, milk, kids drink bottles. I've got ribs which I will be cooking up at some point. I just have them for my lunch with rice. And then in the back we've got some corn and broccoli, and then we've got Coke, the apple juice, and V normally goes there, but it hasn't filled it up. And then here it's just like water, cold water to fill up the kids' drink bottles, sauces, sauces, cream cheese, bought for a project that we haven't done, cooking cream, powdered cheese, string cheese. Our slices go up here, and then I keep like a stock, 4 fits there, and then olive, jalapenos, and the garlic actually normally goes there, so the bottom will have to go up there. Garlic, that's it. Then inside in our regular pantry, up the top we've just got like spices and stuff. Tea and coffee, we don't drink tea and coffee, so we keep it up there when guests come. But then there's like all the taco seasoning. We use this a lot on roast potatoes. The chocolate chicken seasoning, the spaghetti powder I use all the time. It's a stock. There's onion powder, some golden syrup. Then moving down, we've got like oil, salt and pepper, lollies that we're hiding from the kids, more lollies that we're hiding from the kids. Back here is just like some more spices and stuff. There are M&Ms, so the kids can't reach them because they eat them too much. In the back we've got some Easy Mac, and then these are just like meal-based things, simmer sauces, that sort of thing. And then I've got tuna, baked beans, and then coconut oil. And then here is like all of our ingredients: pastas, flours, biscuits. These are Wheat Bix. This shelf here is the snack shelf for the kids. So we've got crackers for our son. Everything just goes at the back that my husband and I access mostly. These gluten-free noodle cups are good for our daughter who's celiac. Freddos and Milky Bars the kids have access to all the time. Our son has just oh gosh, that was great. Our son has just started liking tuna noodles, so they are in an easy accessible spot. Now they're all over the floor. This foil packet is half a kilo of cheesels. And then down here is the sort of gluten-free shelf. So everything that's on here is gluten-free, and our daughter knows that she can eat anything from here. So there's gluten-free Oreos, gluten-free Wheat Bix, marshmallows, these cookies, which she doesn't really like, but anyway. These are gluten-free Cocoa Pops. These chips are gluten-free. The Pringles are not, but the healthy ones are. Chop Chops, there's some cereals back there. Then in here we just got like snacks. So this is all this hard snap peas, but we generally just put packets of chips in there. And then snacks, protein bars I take on a Thursday to calisthenics. And then the kids' little lolly packets, lollies. These are some more protein bar kind of things, and the Odie slices are in there as well. And then this is, I got these from Costco a couple of months ago. So there's hundreds and thousands, and rainbow stripes, and choc chip cookies. So our oldest, who has celiac disease, knows that she can't have things in the tall container. She can have the lollies and these lollies, but she can't have anything else that's here, and she can eat whatever's in this chip bucket plus what's on this shelf. So she's pretty good with what she can and can't eat. And then this is just in our like lounge room. We do have more storage, and this is where I've put the overflow of like snacky stuff for me. So my mum comes often and she drinks Diet Coke, so that's hers. This variety pack I've only just opened. I bought it months ago. I just haven't eaten it, so it's just there. None of this is gluten-free, so that's why it's not in with the other stuff. I think the M&Ms are actually, and possibly a Snickers. I'm not 100% sure, but I just don't have that in the pantry for the kids to access. It's my jumpy stash. I've got like 2 packets left. And then you might remember from a couple of shopping trips ago, I bought Tupper Maltesers. So there's Reese's, which I'm eating, and then we've just got 1 6-pack left of the apple juice. So we store that in here. She doesn't want it in there. Yeah, it's just not as accessible for the kids, and then it's like Christmas decorations and stuff. But anyway, that is our overflow. So that's that. And I'm just going to go now and get the messy toy room, get the shopping out of the car and give you a little look over what we got at Costco. Alright, so everything's laid out. This is what we got from Costco. So 2 boxes of jumpies, The Doritos were on sale, so they were only $7 instead of $9. I've got 4 loaves of bread. I need to make some toasted sandwiches. So I put them together and put them in the freezer, and my husband either eats them fresh or we toast them. So I usually make 2 loaves of that and then just 2 for the family. I've got 6 of the passata, the ham for the toasties. Shortcut bacon was also on sale, so I will portion that up. I'll dice half of it and then put the other half in, I put them in like a snack size Ziploc bag, so the diced will be enough for 1 meal's worth of our cream and chicken pasta that we make, and then the other parts will just be for fresh, like bacon eating. Butter, this comes in a kilo block at the moment, so sometimes it comes broken up into 225 gram slabs, but it's a kilo at the moment, so we use that mainly just for cooking, so it's fine. This butter we use for the family, so there's 3 in there. I've got 3 in the fridge already, but what's another 3? It lasts for ages. The prawn and wonton soup, 4 more pizza bases, because as you can see in the other freezer we've only got 4 left. Marshmallows for the gluten-free child, pizza cheese, this string cheese, I've got 4 of them. I'm obsessed. I'm eating one of these packets a week, basically, for snacks. Chicken thighs, pork sausages. These get broken up into meals, so 4 sausages for a meal. So there's 4 lots of, 4 weeks of sausages in that. And then these chicken thighs go 3 to a pack. The garlic, our last one was out of date by about 6 months and started to smell a bit yucky, so just got another one. The dino snacks are much better value than the nuggets at the moment, so dino snacks it is. The dishwasher cleaner was also on sale, it was $5 off. So just get that, we run that once a month in our dishwasher. Eggs, I got 90. The date on them is about a month, but we just keep using them. Tuna noodles, I've been getting the no-name brand ones for my son, but he actually eats more when we have these ones. So they're about twice the price, but it's still only 50 cents a pack. So it's actually not that bad. I'm happy to pay 50 cents a pack for these. The muffins, we've got 2 brown sugar and cinnamon again. Chop it in half, put it in the freezer. Freddos and Milky Bars, as you can see, we've got a stash in the pantry and I just top them up as needed. Juice again, and 36 Cokes for me. And that was Costco. I don't actually remember how much it was. $500, maybe $520. Yeah, I think it was about $520 for all of that, and it will last us, give or take, a month. Most things. Some things are more than a month. As you can see in our muffin stash, we've got more. So I think every twice I buy them in a row, and then I skip the 3rd month. I don't buy them because we don't eat that many, but we eat too many. You know what I mean? Some things last 2 or 3 goes. Or I get them 2 out of every 3 goes, if that makes sense. I don't know what I'm trying to say. So I thought, while I'm making these sandwiches, I would talk about how groceries work in our household. So we, I've talked about budgeting before, but we have a certain amount of money every fortnight for groceries and fuel. I don't drive a great deal, and my husband usually gets the train to work, so he doesn't drive a great deal either. So our fuel budget isn't huge, but we just put it in with groceries to keep the money separate. So we have $900 a fortnight to feed everybody. And we generally stick to that. And we do that by spreading out our shops, essentially. So I go to Costco once a month, usually. Sometimes it's 3 weeks, and sometimes it's a month, and sometimes it's longer than 3 weeks. Longer than a month. But yeah, so I tend to shop I just get ingredients. I don't shop for specific meals. I don't just shop and get whatever, but I tend to get just what we usually get and then make things work from there. So we have the Woolworths Everyday Rewards Extra membership. So that cost, well, when I got it, it was $35 for the year, but now it's $70 for the year. and that gives you 10% off one shop every month. So every month I do a Woolies shop that is a decent size, between $200 and $300, and I get everything that is Woolies specific that we like or that we have to get because of gluten-free status, and I get 10% off that shop. And then I work for the Coles group, so we have staff discount at Coles, and once a month at the moment they're offering an extra 5% off for staff. So it's 5 days in the month, we get double discount. So it's 10% during those 5 days and then 5% for the rest of the month. So I try and do another, like a Coles shop in those 5 days, so that I take advantage of that 10% off. So twice a month we get 10% off, essentially. So I try and do the bulk of the shop in those two shops for the month, and same with Coles. I get everything that's Coles specific, certain brands that we like, everything that we use that's on special I will collect at that shop or get at that shop. So we usually have a stockpile of everything that we generally have. You'll see that from just the state of our pantry and our fridge. We keep stuff that we use, and yeah, that's how I keep on top of things. So when they're on special, I buy 3 or 4 of something. If we go through one a week, then I buy the month's worth, because you might as well. And that way we try not to pay full price for a lot of stuff, but also get 10% off most of the stuff. So with Costco, I am an executive rewards member. So you pay double the membership fee at Costco. So normally it's $65 and you get nothing for that. You just get to go. And for the extra $65 a year, you get to a 2% rebate on all of your purchases. So any shop that I do at Costco, I get 2% back. Now their reward system is, the money only becomes available in the 10 days before your membership is due for renewal. So ours is January, so we get 10% off, or 2% rebate back in January. And usually I use it, the last 2 years I've used it to renew my membership, and then the extra just comes off whatever we're doing in that shop. So both years that I've had it, we have earned enough to cover the entire membership, so the $130, and then had some spare. The first year it was only $20, and this year it was $40. So I feel like we're getting better at using Costco for what we need, to get the benefit from it as well. And then the Coles and Woolies everyday shop, we try and do one each month at each place to get the 10% off there. And then the rest of the time I try to shop at Coles because we get 5% off at Coles anyway. So we used to do a meal plan for the fortnight and buy what we needed for that meal plan, but our kids at the moment are so picky and stuck in their ways that we have 3 nights a week that are the same meals: butter chicken Monday, burgers Wednesday, tacos Friday. And tacos in our house is literally steamed rice with taco mince on top and some cheese and maybe some aioli if they're feeling adventurous. We don't have like salad or anything with it. They just don't eat it. Butter chicken is chicken thigh fried in the fry pan with a jar of sauce tipped over it over steamed rice. And burgers, we make the burgers from the mince that we get from Costco. They have it in a bun with a piece of cheese and some chips. They don't eat extravagant meals. The rest of the time we usually have like sausages with, we call them square potatoes, so diced potatoes in the air fryer, or mashed potato with the steamed fresh veggies or just steamed mixed vegetables. The 2 little ones rarely eat the veggies. The older one does probably 50% of the time, but the rest of the time it's just left. So we either have sausages with mash or square potatoes and veggies, or we have the basa fillets, basa, whatever they're called, fish with either chips or potato and vegetables. And what else do they have? Sometimes we have lamb, but they don't really eat it. Our eldest will eat basically anything. She's come through her beige stage, but the other 2, not so much. Our 5-year-old, Nuggie, we are having him investigated for ADHD with traits of ASD. So I actually don't care what the label is, but if he needs help, then I want him to be able to access that help. So we're in the middle of that with him, and that food is one of our major issues with him. So he's pretty plain, and like when we have burgers, he doesn't have a burger. He just has the roll with piss cheese in it and some chips. He won't eat the meat. Butter chicken, he will 50% of the time eat the chicken. The rest of the time he just has the sauce with rice. Tacos he will eat, but he doesn't eat a lot of the meat. He mainly eats the rice, and he loves like 2-minute noodles and Vegemite and cheese sandwiches, and yeah, he's pretty plain. We're waiting on results actually from celiac screening for him, because the eldest is celiac, and so we're wondering if maybe that is the issue with him, is that he just doesn't feel well when he eats, so he doesn't really want to eat. So hopefully we get those results soon and we can figure out if that's contributing to his issues. Yeah, so when I shop, I just get what we normally get and try and get it on special, basically. We don't, so we do the big shop at Coles and the big shop at Woolies in the month, and we try not to do too much else during the week or the off week. We will occasionally usually have to buy fruit, strawberries mainly, and sometimes grapes in the off week, and bread and milk are usually what we buy. I also shop at Aldi, try to shop there once a month, because there are just a couple of things at Aldi that we get, like the Pringle style chips and the cheesy stringer things. And it used to be cordial, but they've discontinued our cordial. So yeah, I try and shop at Aldi just the once, because anything that we're going to get from there, we can get 5% off at Coles. So if the price at Aldi isn't better, there's no point getting it from Aldi. So I just try and be really frugal or sensible with what I'm buying. I try not to overbuy things. If we're trying something new, I just buy a little bit of it so that we decide if we like it before we buy it. The other thing that I do is I don't physically go into the shop unless it's Aldi or Costco. I do everything online. So I do a click and collect for either Woolies or Coles, and I do it the night before. Generally, I do it on a Wednesday for pick up on Thursday, because the new specials are in, and we also get paid on a Wednesday. So it just makes sense to do it then. Also, the Coles like 5-day 10% off is Wednesday to Sunday. So yeah, I do a click and collect order, which means I can control what's in my cart. If I go to the supermarket with a trolley, I overspend ridiculously, because I don't see what's in my cart. I walk around and think, oh, like I get distracted by the shiny things. I want to try new stuff. I don't look at things objectively. Whereas when I have it in my cart, I go through and I have lists set up in the apps of what we generally buy, and I go and add everything that I think we need, and then I look for what's on special, and then look for what else we need to add. And then I go back and think, oh my God, that's $340. I don't want to spend that much. And I go back and look at what was the impulse and what I don't actually need. I need more hair. So I find that aspect of the online shopping really good. I also don't have to take the kids to the supermarket. So I will take them to collect, and we go and sit in the boot and have a great time waiting for the shopping to come out. But I'm not wasting my time in the supermarket and overspending, because that's where I overspend. I go in thinking it's going to cost us $250, and I come out and it's $400 at the checkout, and I'm like, how did that happen? And it's just the little things that make their way into the trolley that, like, you don't really need. So I try not to. If we need something, obviously I'll go and pick it up, but try really hard to get things done in those 10% off shops, and be really mindful about what it is that I'm spending. Because yeah, you don't want to overspend and you don't want to waste. We don't throw out a lot of food. The only food we throw out is things that the kids haven't eaten. And if, for example, I've done nuggets on the weekend for a lunch and no one's eaten them, I put them back in the fridge and then get them out the next day and they have them again. And 50% of the time they'll eat them, 50% of the time they won't, and then I'll throw them out. But we don't throw food because it's spoiled. We throw food because we haven't eaten it when we've dished it up. But leftovers, generally, if we have leftovers on like butter chicken or tacos, it goes in a little container and my husband or I will take it to work, or I'll just eat it here. I tend to make big batches of stuff like that pesto pasta that's in our freezer, freeze it up, and then we just take a container out the day before, and that's what we have for lunch the next day. So trying to be mindful of wastage, really, because that's where you lose money. So a lot of the time we actually go over. on our grocery budget, but then sometimes we stay under. So sometimes I'll be like, oh, we don't actually have any money, let's not spend any money this fortnight, and just try and like build it up in that account. And because it's in a separate account, we just let it figure itself out. So yeah, some weeks we spend more, some weeks we spend less, but it tends to work out. And when I do my yearly like budget recap, which I do every 3 months for the previous 12 months, it's the numbers that I'm setting aside are correct. So we spend $900 a fortnight on fuel and food, groceries. And in that grocery budget is anything we would buy at the supermarket. So laundry products, cleaning products, food. We have a separate budget for clothes and stuff. So when I go to Kmart or Big W, that's a separate budget. But yeah, it tends to be roughly around that amount. So what's that? If we say it's about $100 a fortnight for fuel, leaves us $800. It's $400 a week for 5 people. It's a lot of money. Feels like a lot of money. But yeah, we eat mostly at home just because of the celiac restriction. The only thing we'll get is McDonald's chips. And we've now figured out she can eat a burger if we order it without the bun. And get our own bun. So we either take it in with us or we just eat it at home. But yeah, so that's how grocery budgeting works. Where my husband works, he works in the city, and he has access to Woolies and Coles, and he will just buy whatever he needs. If he's like getting work lunches and stuff, he often has like rice bowls and things and needs an avocado or sauce or whatever, and he just gets what he needs, and then the money comes out of our grocery money. So we both have access to the money. We can spend it as we see fit. I don't control everything that he does. I like to think I can, but I can't. He's his own person. And yeah, we buy like all of our treats and snacks and everything in that budget. And if we want to go over and above, if I want something specific, then I take that out of my like play money, we call it. We both get $50 a fortnight to spend on whatever we want to spend it on. So if he wants a $10 cake from the cake shop, he just will spend it from that money rather than the family money. But yeah, that's how groceries work in our house. So it does take a bit of time sometimes to figure out which shop I'm up to, and what we have and what we need. And we keep a running note. We've got a shared note. That's the grocery list. We have Coles specific items, Woolies specific items, Aldi specific items, and then just generic stuff. So anytime either of us decides that we need something, we just add it to the list. And then whoever goes to the shops gets it, basically. And then we have a separate note that's Costco related, because we don't go there as often. And if something's at Costco, then I'll get it. And if it's not, then I'll get it from Coles or Woolies. So it just depends what we need and when we need it and what's on special. Yeah, so we try and shop the sales. Meat wise, we get most of our meat from Costco. It's just easier and quite affordable. And yeah, we don't eat a lot of fresh vegetables. We tend to eat frozen, but the fruit we get fresh each week. So we do it like a top-up shop of fruit, milk and bread. But yeah, I freeze as much as I can, try and pre-portion everything in the size that we'll eat if we're freezing it. Reuse leftovers, be sensible with what we're buying and eating, and yeah, we tend to stay on budget. Anyway, that's 2 loaves of sandwiches made. Put this ham in the fridge. Don't use the crusts. Extra ham, I'll probably put it out in the freezer for next time because we have enough in the fridge already. And this, it has another month on it. Maybe I'll just leave it out. But yeah, that's my story. See you next time.